I'm George and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to learn how to put an answer key in our Google Forms quiz and how we can customize our answer responses that the students see. We'll also learn some small advanced features on how to use the second column here, responses. In our next video, we're going to talk about the advanced features of Google Forms. So let's go ahead and begin. So you want to make a quiz for your class and you want to make a self-graded quiz. That way you want to save yourself time. How can we do that? So you made a quiz here, and in our previous videos we made a rough format for a quiz where the students had to enter their email address and log in addition to their name, their student number, their class number, and we had some mock questions here for the students to answer. Let's say we have an answer here, a multiple choice question, and we want to put in a specific answer so that the students can get their grades within one click later on. So we want to go ahead and choose the question and then click our answer key on the bottom left. Right now we have an answer key here. We can see the green check mark here, so this is showing that this is the correct answer for the question. But if we want to give some more details, we click the answer key and we will see that the answer is highlighted. There's a given amount of points for this question. You can change this accordingly. And there's an option for answer feedback. So after you click answer, then you click answer feedback and you'll see a series of options. First, we have feedback that you can submit for the incorrect answers. So for example, I might say Barack Obama was president from, you can say 2008 to, and then whatever the end is there, in that case 2016, and then you can go ahead and list other examples for the other options. You can click our correct answer. You can say Joe Biden was elected in 2020, or is currently the president-elect right now. And so we have correct answers and incorrect answers so that when the students complete their quiz, they'll see this feedback. Now, let's say you want to give them additional reading or additional information. You can click the YouTube video here and you can find a video for the students to see. And let's go ahead and type the name, and you want to click search, and you can insert a video here talking about the incorrect answer so the students will go ahead and see the response. You can also insert a link, where if you want to insert a link to another reading or something like that, you can copy and paste and add, and the students will be able to see this. And they will only be able to see it once you release the answers to them. So of course you want to click save, and you can see the options here that come up. Feedback for incorrect answers. Obviously it says video is unavailable since I'm not in America right now, but we can change this accordingly. And we have another option here where we can go to our answer key and answer feedback, and we can do the same thing as we did above. So when the student submits, they'll be able to see the answers once you let them. Over here, we can see the total amount of points that you have given this quiz so that the students can see. And then if you click on the second option, we see responses. Once the student starts responding, you can see who has responded. And you can turn off the link to this quiz at any time. So right now it says accepting responses. If you were to uncheck this option, this says the student will receive a message saying the form is no longer accepting responses. So let's say if we go back to our Google Classroom, you can see we put our practice quiz. It's due December 4th. Let's say it's December 5th, Christmas Day. You unclick this, and then the student will click the link and they won't be able to submit the quiz since the deadline has passed. Now, since I created this form, I see a special link that says I can resume collecting responses, and I can click this, but the student would only see this response above. And later on, we're going to talk about how we can take our data and we can open it with a spreadsheet for further analysis. Now let's take a look at some of our advanced features in Google Forms. So we had our send option, and in our previous videos we clicked the chain link here and we shortened our link so that it was easier for students to see. we click copy, and then we added it to our Google Classroom by clicking our quiz, clicking our add here, and adding our link. And we had our link that was already added below. It's the same link, but I posted it twice. But now let's say you wanted to change this option and you wanted to email it to a student directly. You go here and you go ahead and type in the email address that you want. And the subject will be the title of the quiz. And you can check this option here, include form in email, which means the students will receive a copy of the form itself, Google Form to receive. So you can go ahead and click send, and the student will immediately get an email to fill out this form. So we have our email, we can send a link, or we can choose the third option, which is a more advanced feature, which we're not going to go over in this class. You can embed this HTML. This is if you're making a website or something like that. And our second advanced feature comes here in our more features, our three dots on the right. If you click that, you will see a variety of options. The first option is a very useful undo button, which Google Forms previously did not have, which is really important if you make a mistake. So let's say you decided to change a question. If you just click undo, it'll go back and remove that question for you. Another useful feature is the make a copy feature. So if you wanted to make a new quiz, you can click the make a copy option, make a copy of this one, and all you need to do is change the pieces that you want. Let's say I wanted to make a Unit 2 quiz, and you have the option here of what folder it's going to be stored in. I changed the name. Obviously, you wouldn't want to share with the same people yet since you haven't edited it, but you can click OK, and then the new copy would come up, and everything would be exactly the same, and then you can change this accordingly to how you want. Of course, you probably want to have different questions. The third option is move to trash, which means you can delete this form, or you can get what's called a pre-filled link. So if you click this option here, that means the link is ready to go and anybody can use it. And the answers are ready to be seen. So you can just click the link and someone can fill this form out whenever you want. That means they can see all the responses, all the questions before they fill it out. You can print this form as well. And when you print this form, one unique feature of Google Forms is that it makes it more similar to something like a Scantron sheet. So when you click print, you can save as a PDF or you can print. It will automatically come up with these little ovals and it'll give you some instructions with the date and the name of the quiz. And it will show you the answers and it'll ask you to mark it with one oval. And of course, it'll have that same asterisk ready for you to know that you need to complete this in order to answer. You need to answer this in order to complete the quiz. And the next option we have here is add collaborators. So if you and another teacher or another teaching assistant want to have permission to work on this form together, you can click add collaborators and type in the email address of the person that you would like to have permission. And you can choose what kind of permission they have. So let's say I want to give my other account permission. I type the email address here, it comes up, and I choose over here on the right side if I want them to be an editor. A collaborator is an editor. I can write them a message and say, hello, please help me with this quiz, thank you. And now me and this other individual will have access to edit this quiz. And it says here, editors will be able to view and delete form responses. So you only want to give this to another teacher that you know knows how to use Google Forms and knows the objectives of your class so that they don't repeat, they don't delete important information. And you can go to this wheel here where it gives you permissions to customize this. And you can say editors can change permissions. If you want to give them permission to add more people, you can. Or you might want to give them permission to download, print, and copy. Personally, when it comes to collaborators, most of the time, I just make them a collaborator so they can add a question if they'd like. But if this is a collaborative project where we're sharing together, you might want to make sure these are checked. And then, of course, you would click send, and an email would be sent to that individual, giving them permission, and a notification will come up saying person has been added. So if we go ahead, we have our make a copy, we are our print, pre-filled link, collaborator. Our script editor is an advanced option we're not going to go over in this video if you want to customize this form at the base code level. And finally, the last two options are add-ons. The add-ons are a whole separate feature within Google and G Suite where you can use programs from other developers to even further customize this form. For example, there's one incredibly good add-on that we're going to go on and talk about in the future, where you can make this into a Scantron sheet and get a QR code so that if you need to convert this into a face-to-face exam that is multiple choice and can be accessed from the student's phone with a QR code reader, you can do that as well. You can also add a variety of other add-ons here to customize this form. And when you click add-ons, options will come up to choose the program that you like, and there are so many of them. Another useful one is one that can add a timer as well. And lastly, we have our preferences, which we briefly went over before. You can decide here, again, in this location or up there in the little wheel, if you are collecting email addresses or what the default quiz point value is. In this case, it's 2. You can just automatically say, well, the lowest amount is 1 or 2, depending on if you want to include points for them writing down their name or something like that. So that's basically it for Google Forms. Google Forms is an incredibly useful feature, and we looked at it through the context of Google Classroom. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you do like this video, please click like and subscribe. We'll be making some additional videos on how to take our responses and convert them into sheets. So let's take a look at that in our next video. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.